Graded Stakes Racing Recap, a big weekend of racing already underway. Of course, we had the July 4th holiday, traditionally a big stakes race schedule. Let's take a look at some of the races on July 4th. We'll have another recap after the Indiana Derby and Iowa Derby on Sunday. But let's take a look back at the Suburban Stakes. That was at Belmont at Saratoga, going 10 furlongs. You've got the Schuylerville for 2-year-old fillies. Obliteration, going to race on Saturday. He won by 9 lengths for trainer Steve Asmussen. We'll take a look at him as he goes into the Sanford Stakes. Then we've got the Indiana Derby and also the Iowa Derby as summer Derby season continues. We'll get a quick update on the 3-year-old division leader, Sovereignty, who had another workout, as it looks like he could be heading towards the Jim Dandy Stakes. But we start off Belmont at Saratoga. Of course, the Racing Festival a few weeks ago for Belmont. Now we've got the July 4th Racing Festival. They go 10 furlongs. Big favorite in the race was Locked. He's trying to get back on track after a disappointing effort at Churchill Downs the last time around. But meanwhile, on the front end, it is Phileas Fogg, a former claimer. He has taken him on the engine, takes him into the lead, into the stretch, ran a big race the last time out at Hi-Ho Pimlico, and Phileas Fogg gets the win over Antiquarian. Phileas Fogg on the inside. Antiquarian makes a late lunge at him, but could not get there in the Suburban Stakes. So Phileas Fogg using his speed over Antiquarian, who has ran 2 big races this year as a 4-year-old, looks to get back on the winning track soon, but he's ran 2 nice races to start off his 4-year-old campaign. Of course, he won the Peter Pan last year as a 3-year-old and ran in the Belmont Stakes as well. Now, juveniles were on the scene on Saratoga. We had the Skylerville, traditionally the 2-year-old filly race. Let's take a look at that race replay. On the lead, you've got the speed. Then you've got Kingsolver, who's going to try to run her down late. Comes out in the middle of the track. Kingsolver picking up that Schuylerville Stakes win. We may see her in races like the Spinaway Stakes, or maybe she goes to Keeneland, but we're heading into the heart of the summer racing season now with Del Mar opening up in about 13 days. You've got Saratoga getting ready to go into their big stake schedule over the next 40 days of racing. Kingsolver winning the Schuylerville. Now, Sovereignty, of course, the 3-year-old division leader. He won the Belmont Stakes. He won the Kentucky Derby. Second in the Florida Derby. He won the Fountain of Youth. He had a second work since the Belmont Stakes. Picked it up a little bit, went a little bit faster on Friday. It looks like he's targeting a couple of big races, the Jim Dandy, and then he's going to try to paint that canoe in the Midsummer Derby, in the Travers Stakes, and we've got some other horses pointing for that Jim Dandy, most notably the Big Gray, of course, for Mark Casse. So let's see what shakes out. Sovereignty pointing for the Jim Dandy Stakes. Now, the Indiana Derby coming up on Saturday, July 5th. You've got Publisher, still a maiden. Master Controller. Coal Battle may go favored. He is going to get a lot of support along with Instant Replay. Chunk of Gold was entered but is going to scratch. He's going to wait possibly for the West Virginia Derby. Tip Top Thomas goes. Big Truz cross-entered in both the Indiana Derby and the Iowa Derby. So that's the Indiana Derby. The Iowa Derby going to go at Prairie Meadows. You've got Authentic Gallop. Big Truz entered also along with the Indiana Derby. Magnitude for Steve Asmussen and Mr. Omaha, the Oklahoma bred, at 6-1. Probably Magnitude off the layoff for trainer Steve Asmussen, the 9-5 morning line favorite. It depends on if Big Truz goes in Indiana or in the Iowa Derby, who actually goes off the favorite in that Iowa Derby. Authentic Gallop also, I think, capable of better after that last couple of races. Now, the Sanford Stakes goes on Saturday. Belmont at Saratoga. This is the 2-year-old equivalent to the Schuylerville. Let's take a look at Obliteration. He destroyed the field in his maiden win. He ended up winning by over 8 lengths. And kind of just an impressive win. Used his speed, took him into the lane with the lead, and then drew off by 9. Ridden by Keith Asmussen. in that race. And Steve Asmussen trains Obliteration. He is by Volatile, and he looks like a nice horse going into that Sanford Stakes. What do you think of Obliteration? What did you think of the race by Phileas Fogg? Leave a comment. We're getting ready for the summer racing season. Saratoga, Del Mar will be doing some stakes previews, taking a look at some juvenile winners, and our road to the Breeders' Cup begins in August. Remember, the Breeders' Cup prospectus is going to be out with lots of stats and a spreadsheet for you to download. Sign up now and get racing updates as we get closer to the Breeders' Cup. And you'll be the first to know if you subscribe. Look for the link in the description below for the Breeders' Cup prospectus. Lots of racing on Saturday. We'll recap it on Sunday. Good luck on Saturday. Lots of stakes races across the country. Saratoga, Del Mar coming soon. Indiana with their big race day. And Prairie Meadows Festival of Racing with the Iowa Derby and the Cornhusker. Subscribe to the Breeders' Cup prospectus below in the description. Leave a comment as we get you ready for summer racing. And remember the legend, D. Wayne Lucas always used to say, people have opinions, horses have the facts.